Thank you. Now, I'll take some questions from the media. Laura.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Laura Kunsberg, BBC News. You have today, again, and repeatedly all the way through this campaign, attacked Jeremy Corbyn for being uncertain and unsure, to use your phrase. But you have just announced a significant change to what was offered in your manifesto, saying there will now be the possibility of a cap on social care that was not in the plans that was announced just 4 days ago. That doesn't look so strong and stable, Prime Minister, does it? It looks rather like panic in the face of opposition. And can you tell us today where the cap on social care costs will be set to set families' minds at rest?
Well, first of all, what we are doing and what we set out in our manifesto is a long-term plan for actually securing a sustainable future for social care in this country. So I said, if you just look at the figures of the numbers, even the number of over 75-year-olds, that will be 2 million more within the next decade, our social care system will collapse unless we address this problem. And we can't leave it to the future. We have to start dealing with it now. That's why I want to fix it, and I'm going to fix it. And the plans that we set out were very clear in the manifesto. You can look in the manifesto, Laura. I think it was page 64 or 65, we said we'd issue a green paper. And of course, within that green paper, we'll be consulting on the details of the proposals and the principles that we have set out. What is important is that we have seen over the last few days Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party trying to scare vulnerable and elderly people by telling them and trying to suggest that they would lose their family homes to pay for their care. Nobody is going to have to pay for their care. Nobody is going to have, while they are alive, nobody is going to have to lose their family home. We will ensure that people are able to pass on savings to their children. That is proposals that we have put forward. I think it is the right way forward because it is the right way to deal with this problem that we all face. And we need to deal with it now. Robert Sky.
Thanks very much. Robert Nisbet from Sky News. You talk about a coalition of chaos, but isn't this a manifesto of chaos now? What else are you going to clarify within the next few days? And also, what message do you think this is sending out to those prime ministers and chancellors around Europe that you are prepared to be so flexible with what you originally set down in stone?
I think the message that our manifesto sets out is that as a party and as a leader, I and we, the party, are prepared to be honest with people about the challenges that we face and are prepared to set forward the hard decisions that have to be taken, but a way forward that ensures we are looking after the interests of ordinary working people across this country. And I think what people will see across this country is that they do have a choice. They have a choice between Jeremy Corbyn being propped up by votes for any other party in this country, or a government led by me, which will provide that strong and stable leadership, which will ensure that we're being honest with people about the challenges we face and have a plan to fix those. That's the important thing. We will fix those challenges, we will address them, and we will also build a stronger Britain and a better future. Emily.
Prime Minister, Emily Morgan, ITV News. You say that you are prepared to take the difficult decisions, but you have just buckled under pressure over your social care plans. Isn't this U-turn really just a cynical attempt to stop voters leaving you in droves?
Look, first of all, let's be clear. We have not changed the principles that we set out in the manifesto. We're very clear about the principles on which this system will operate and will be based. What we have done is clarified that in the Green Paper, which will be a consultation document, we will have a limit, upper limit, absolute limit on the amount that people will pay for care. But the basic principles remain absolutely the same as when they were put in the manifesto and announced last week. that nobody is going to have to pay for their care while they're alive, that nobody is going to have their family home sold while they're living in it, and that everybody will be able, where they have that, to pass £100,000 onto their families. That's 4 times the limit that currently exists at the moment. This is a good arrangement. It ensures that people can pass savings to their families. It ensures they have the peace of mind, rather than sitting there month after month worrying about the money that's going out of their bank account to pay for their care and worrying about what's going to happen in the future. This takes that worry away from people, but it also ensures that we have a sustainable system for funding social care for the future. That's the challenge we need to address. We're the only party that is doing it. Michael.
Michael Crick, Channel 4 News. I don't recall a U-turn on a manifesto in any election campaign. Now we've had national insurance and this. As Margaret Thatcher might have said, U-turn, or didn't say, U-turn if you want to, the lady is for turning. Doesn't this show that you are really weak and wobbly, not strong and stable? Can you give us an idea of what the cap will be? 100,000? 200,000? 500,000? Don't the people of this country have a right to know what the cap will be?
We have not changed the principles of the policy that we set out in our manifesto. Those policies remain exactly the same. There will be aspects of how this operates that we will consult on through the Green Paper. We were honest that we were going to have a Green Paper and that we would be consulting people on how the system operates. What we have done, which other parties have singularly failed to do, is to recognise the challenge that we face, to respect the needs and concerns of the British people, and to provide a long-term plan for sustainable social care, which means that elderly people in this country won't have to worry about how their social care will be paid for in the future.
Chris Hope, The Telegraph. 2 quick questions, Prime Minister. Can you answer yes or no to this question? Will anything else in the manifesto change between now and June the 8th? And the second question, quickly, is why, as Home Secretary, did you grant asylum to the Libyan man who was later arrested by police for the murder of Yvonne Fletcher?
Well, on the latter point, there are rules about how asylum is granted, and any decisions that are taken legally and in accordance with the law of this country. And on the first question, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We are offering a long-term solution for the sustainability of social care for the future. We are ensuring that elder people, will not have to worry. They will be able to ensure that their care, whether it's in the home or for them to go into a home, is being paid for, and they won't have to worry about those bills month after month after month. And they will have the confidence of knowing that they can pass £100,000 of savings on to their children. Nothing has changed. We will consult on how the system operates, and we will do that through a Green Paper. Anybody else? Yes, sorry, I can't see who. I think that's the last hand that I saw up, so.
Hi there, Jessica Elgott from The Guardian. If in case I'm missing something, this tax, or this dementia tax, would apply to someone who dies a longer death from dementia. But if you die a longer death from cancer, you would have the inheritance tax threshold is £1 million, whereas it reduces to 100,000 in this case. That's still the case, isn't it, even with a cap?
Look, I'm sorry, you're using terms that have been used by the Labour Party to try and scare people in this country. This is a system that will ensure that people who are faced with the prospect of either requiring care in their own home or needing to go into a home for care are able to see that support provided for them and don't have to worry on that month-by-month basis about where the funding is coming from. They won't have to sell their family home while they're alive. They won't have to be worrying, as I say, about those sums of money going out of the bank account each month, and they will be able to pass savings on to their children. This is a policy which ensures sustainability for our social care system going into the future. And we need that, because our system will collapse with our ageing society unless we do take the decisions we need. As I said when I was speaking, the only suggestion that Jeremy Corbyn made about paying for social care was to put up the taxes, the basic rate of tax, from 20p to 25p, so younger generations would have been paying for that.